and welcome to the next X-Wing build, where we are going to be looking at issues 27 and 28 in just a little moment. But before I do that, I just want to talk to you. How are you guys? Are you getting on okay? Are you keeping distracted? Are you keeping safe and healthy? I think the news is more positive at the moment. Is anyone getting that vibe? Maybe just because it's sunny outside, but I think the end of this is starting. It's going to be a long process, but I think it's more positive. Hopefully the new normal will kick in soon with all these antibody tests and just good noises instead of bad noises. More good noises coming through. So I'm very excited about this period being over. And that's why I want to talk to you, just in case you're feeling a bit low. Just a friendly face or ugly face or a face to talk to you, and hopefully you get something out of it. So what have I done over this last 2 weeks? Well, the first thing I did was I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake. I absolutely loved that game. It is 5 stars, 10 out of 10. Beautiful. There's some slow parts, but on the whole I loved it. And I loved it so much that I don't really want to stop talking about Final Fantasy on the channel. I really want to do something that allows me to kind of the love for Final Fantasy VII to come out in this way. So I've started the process of setting up another mini YouTube channel based around Final Fantasy VII. And I'll give you a little clue about what it's going to be. I ordered something, and as a free gift I got this, which is a beautiful numbered lithograph from Final Fantasy VII Remake. And that's all I'm going to say for now. There will be a mini review. Just gave it away. It is going to be Chris Falcon reviews. It is going to be a mini series of Chris Falcon reviews, but what? I don't know. I will tell you in due course. Of course, I'll put out trailers and teasers and tell you exactly what it is in the near future. It's going to be a few months away before I start the process really of making that. So keep your eyes out for that. If you like Final Fantasy or like games, spread the word that I'm going to start reviewing something. I'm looking forward to that. Right, going back to more Star Warsy stuff. Had a lot of stuff come through the post actually these last 2 weeks. The first one was the next sets of issues, so we're not going to have any delay for my X-Wing build videos to go out. They're going to go out every 2 weeks, which is nice, at least for the foreseeable future. We also got this, which is the next free gift from the build. It is the power pack that works with cameras, MP3s, MP4s, tablets and smartphones, and of course in a Star Wars design. So let me just open it out of the packaging. Oops, just lost the cable. So it comes with some instructions like that. Very nice. It also comes with a cable. Now the cable is a bit disappointing because it's a micro USB cable. So if you are looking to use it to power your phone, it's not a USB-C, which phones take. It's not an Apple iPhone charger either. So it's a bit pointless, sadly. But, you might be able to find a use for it. And here's the power pack itself. A gorgeous Stormtrooper design. Really, really love that. It's nice white It's got all the functionality at the bottom. It's USB to plug in to charge and to send stuff out, and then of course you have the micro USB as well. Turn it on just with this button here. See, it lights up. I've got 2 buttons lit up, so I am at 50% charge on the power pack. And it also comes with these suckers that are meant to stick onto your phone so that it doesn't fall off. Now, I'm going to do a little experiment here. I've already done it, so I know the results. I've got 2 phones, one for work and one for personal. For my personal phone, I have obviously a case on the back, and I think most people have cases on the back of their phones. It's got loads of details to stop it from slipping. So when I put a power pack on with the suction cups, sadly, it just slides right off. It doesn't stick at all. I can push this down as hard as possible. No, it just slides off, which is really, really frustrating. The second phone also has a case on it, but it is a smoother case. So let's see if this works. Let's just push this down, and it does stay on more. Oh, okay. No, it doesn't. Maybe if I just lick a couple of them. Does it stay on there? Oh, it does a bit. Oh, look, there's the one I licked, but it does slide off. So sadly, the suckers don't really work, which is a bit frustrating, but it is nice to have if we ever get back out to camping or going places where festivals, we're going places where we don't actually have a charging part for a couple of days. We can charge our phones with this. I actually used it to charge up this camera, excuse me, which is why it's at 50%. And it works perfectly. It's just the same, the suckers don't work and the cable's a bit old-fashioned, but you get USB cables with stuff anyway. Right, the next thing I had through the post, and I am blown away by this. I've gone into partnership with Falcon for the 3D part. You would have seen the advert at the start of this video, and I am more than happy to have done that because Gus, you're a legend. Not only has he sent through a review copy of the X-Wing cockpit, he's also sent through all of his X-Wing parts for me to show off and review. And I was just blown away when I got this through. You did not have to do that at all. Now, I'm going to show you them all straight from the box in their rawest form. They are 3D printed parts, obviously Falcon 3D parts. And they look really cool when they're printed. But when I come round to the review, they're not going to be like this because I'm going to take off all the printing parts. You'll know what I mean when I show you this. This is the cockpit. Look at the detailing at the back there. And of course this is all the parts that makes it, prints it. You had to print like this to get it out. These parts need to be taken off for the cockpits to fit in properly. It just looks exquisite. Thank you so much again for that. Mind blown that you did that for me. It's very, very sweet. Also comes with instructions. Now these instructions have thrown up some possible delays on getting this review out because I need clear coat, I need some Mr. Mark softener and setter, and the correct kind of glue as well. But they are very detailed instructions on the cockpit. Thank you very much for sending them out. So it's going to be a while before I get the review out there, but that should not stop you going and getting parts for yourself. I love this. I love his business card. His business card is this metallic or metal business card, and it's also got, you know, measurements, a ruler, and it's also got these cut out circles and cut out squares at the bottom. A lovely, lovely, practical, useful business card. So brilliant. Gus, you're a genius. Thank you so much. Right, now, what else has he got me? Speaking of metal parts, we've got the photo etched parts here, which are lovely. So all of those holes will shine light will shine through them, making the cockpit parts light up. Just exquisite work. And of course, because it's not just plain gold, the X-Wing cockpit, also got the decals as well. I'm not too confident with decals, and I think he knew that because he's given me 2. He's given me 2 sets in case I mess up. Thank you for that. I'm probably going to be doing the decals off camera as well. I think the review for it is going to be more of a review than a build review because I really don't want to mess this up. I'm really very excited about putting all this together. But we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. Right. He is also he's designed 3 different pilots for the X-Wing, and he sent me a copy of all 3, which is just mind-blowing. First of all, we get this one, which is kind of, can't really see, hold on, which is looking off to the left there. Look at that. And obviously it's all in scale with the X-Wing, DeAgostini X-Wing. The rest of the stuff in the bag for the pilots is the joystick and some more decals there, the helmet, things like that. So that is one pilot. We also have second pilot, which is more looking straight on. See there, lovely. Third pilot, which is looking to the left. Can you see that there? He's looking to the left. He's looking at you now. It's just beautiful. And the other thing that he has designed, you would have seen the trailer and spoke about it last week. It's really frustrating for a lot of people that we do all this internal work on the X-Wing and there's nothing to show for it because none of the parts are removable. So he's created parts that have removable panels like this so that we can see the interior workings of our X-Wing. It's just beautiful. So we've got stuff there for the gun, and then we have the engines here. Look at that happy smiley face of panels. Oh, I've only just noticed. Oh, he's a genius. Right. He's also created panels that are see-through. So you can put panels on to protect the inner workings and stop it dust coming in, but you can still see it. Absolute genius. Wow. Mind blown. It's another reason that I'm delaying reviewing all this is because I need to get the right paint to paint these to match the parts of the Falcon build model that we have. So if anyone knows exactly what those paints are, you know, the colours that are used, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. We've got a bag full of little parts, which I imagine are little cockpit parts. We don't have the cockpit yet in the UK, so I don't know the stock. I don't have any of the stock pieces, and I don't really know where anything goes. So hopefully instructions on that will follow. I did ask him, and he said he would. He's very accommodating. And then the final part, the part that is going to make this cockpit just sing and dance with lights, it is this see-through diffusing part here that will stick inside the cockpit and make all those lights through the photo etched parts and the decals shine. Stunning, absolutely stunning. You don't need any other lights as well. It works with the bulbs that come stock with the Falcon parts. Gus, I'm absolutely blown away that you've sent all this. Thank you so much. You did not have to do it. I am blessed. People are just so damn generous. At the best of times and like now at the worst of times, the generosity of people staggers me. There is so much good out there, and I'm getting a bit philosophical, but there is so much good out there, and I know that the world is crap at the moment, but there is good out there. Try and find the good, because it is out there. I'm waffling. I don't really know what I'm saying. So yes, I finished Final Fantasy, but I've got a Final Fantasy series coming up, so stay tuned for that. I have the review of all those 3D Falcon parts coming up when I have the right extra tools and the right extra equipment and materials. Stay tuned for that. And also stay tuned to right now, because I'm going to stop talking and let's have a look at what comes. I'll do it like that, sorry. I'm going to stop talking. Let's have a look at what comes now in issues 27 and 28 today. And of course, we are working on more of the engine and the wing for this X-Wing model. The first piece that we're going to use on this model is this see-through part here. It's got a little nook there. Now that is going to come into play later, because we are going to attach this piece onto it as well. So you've got a nice piece here with a little kind of circular bit here. This circular bit here needs to be the opposite side of that nook there. So when you attach it just with these 4 little pegs, it needs to just fit in there like that. So we've got the nook there and the circular bit there. and that will just sit in there like that. We then get the back of the sublight engine, and you'll see that there is an extra piece of plastic there, and of course the nook on the see-through part, whoops, if I don't drop and break it, fits very nicely in there, and that just pushes in that way. No, sorry, I've done that wrong. Make sure that the see-through part faces outwards, and that just, let's try that again a bit more delicately. That just fits in there like that. Mine is at a slight angle, I'm not sure why that is. There we go. Yeah, so that just fits in there like that, with the flat see-through part facing this way and the texture part facing out the back there like that. Now that does sit in there as far as possible. There is a little ledge to hold it in place, to make sure you do that. The next thing that we're going to do is attach this LED, so we just need to unfurl it first of all. It's a nice long LED wire, and when that is all unfurled, we need to get this reflective part here, which is gorgeously reflective, get the LED bulb and push it in this way like that, so you have the bulb coming out of that reflective part just there like that. We then need to get a piece that we looked at last week, which is this bit here, and I did attach the blade but it's fallen off again. The glue I had wouldn't really set, but this is going to be covered anyway, and even with the parts from Falcon 3D parts, I'm not going to have this engine uncovered, so it doesn't really matter about this blade. So what we need to do is face this around here. See, we've got the groove here, that will be for the wire, and we need to push the end of the wire through this rectangle hole here, making way for that label, and that gets pushed all the way through like that. And then we just loop it round into this rectangle here, again making way for this label. There we go, and that just goes in there like that, and that is how it will look at this stage. We then need to make sure that the reflector sort of sits in position here, so we know how much length of wire to leave free. We then need to bring in the bottom part of the sublight engine, and you see that there is a rectangle here. We need to feed the wire through this way, so not the part that's outward facing, the part that's inward facing, through there. And then we need to get everything into place. So the opposite end of the fan sits here, where these will just line up there like that, and then this reflector part will need to be positioned in the groove. It's very hard to see, but you see you've got this groove here, that is where the reflector part will go. So if we just push that in first, putting it in the wrong way around, there we go. Make sure that that is going in, which mine doesn't seem to be. I wonder if this way around works better. It does, there we go, so that goes in there like that. And then we need to feed everything through. You'll see that there is a peg there and a peg there and two holes there. That will hold everything in place. So let's just, it's a bit fiddly with the wires and stuff like that. They've got to make sure that they are out of the way. And we've got to make sure everything is in position. For some reason he's not wanting to go down, which is interesting. Why is that? Oh, maybe that needs to be under there. Let me just do this off camera, be right back. Cool, it's like a game of Tetris to get all that in. But I have managed to get it in. I really had to fold down the wire at this point to make it fit, but that fits into the pegs there. You need to make it so the reflective part has this notch facing upwards, because when we get the next part, which is here, it's all going to line in, and you see we've got a notch there as well. So there is a groove on this part. You'll see that there. You push the reflective part in there like that, and then hopefully everything else should close around it, which it does by and large. And to make sure that this part is completely in place, we need to push this part on around it. So you see that groove that came into play earlier also will come into play here. And we just push everything in and put that on. Push that all the way down. There we go. That is tight, but that is in. We then also need a locking nut for this side, which is here, and that just sits around there to hold that into place. There we go, and there we have the engine all attached. Looking very, very nice indeed. I'm just going to test the light now because I'm a bit worried that the wire hasn't worked. That is not looking good, is it? This is the batteries, of course. I think I may have a broken sublight engine light. Oh dear. I might have to fix that. Let me just get the other one, because I can't remember whether it is just a plug and play. I'm pretty sure it is. Now which one of these wires is the engine? That's the thing. So this is the old wing. Okay. It might just be the batteries. I might be in luck here. Okay. Would be helpful if I put the batteries incorrectly, wouldn't it? Okay, so the batteries are now in properly. Oh, flipping heck. Fingers crossed. This engine works now. And it does. Oh, God, I got worried there. Just my battery placement is shocking, basically. But yeah, there it is. Again, that bright red torch of the sublight engine. Looking very, very nice. You can see how dirty my camera lens is there. So glad that that's working and that is in. Brilliant. Now, I'm going to end this section just by putting on these pieces onto this bottom half of the engine here, as you can see. And I'm going to play some more of Simon Kim's music while I do so. Go. There is something immensely satisfying by doing that. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but making sure that all these pieces fit in is nice, and they slot together very nicely apart from this fiddly little piece here, just not wanting to go in. Come on, the final piece of the puzzle. No, it's not happy. I'll leave that for now. So that is the end of issue 27, and if you are enjoying this video, please do give it a like. Giving this video a like really does help out the channel and help me out as well, especially during this time, so thank you very much guys for doing that. So moving on then to issue 28, and we need these big pieces here that are too big to fit on camera, but that's okay, we're only doing bits at a time. So we need to have this part facing this way. We need to have this wing part facing this way. Yes. And you'll see that it's got a hole here, a hole here, and a hole here to match up with these three lugs here. So that's how you're meant to position it, just like that. We then need to screw down these parts, which I'm just going to go ahead and do now. Okay, so that is all done, and the eagle-eyed amongst you would have noticed that there are 5 holes, these 3 that I showed you, and then these 2 holes here as well. You need to make sure that they are in to make sure that that wing part is nice and secure. Now, to make it even more secure, we have this is one of 3 really heavy metal parts. So the first part will just sit in there like that to hold in place. The second part goes over this, the screws that we just filled in. It's this frame here, and that just sits in there like that. And this third part just fits, just flip this around, just fits even in there like that. So we have this metal structure here, this one here, and this one here, all forming kind of a really strong structural center point for the wing. And of course, I'm going to screw all these down now. Enough screwing for one day. You've listened more to music than hearing me talk, especially during this build section of the video. But yeah, that is all in, and I forgot to say we use a multitude of screws to do that. We've got X2s here, X3s I think here and here and here, and X4s there, X5s there. Lots and lots of screws, but that is now securely in place, and yeah, it just looks great. Just looks fantastic. And this of course is the bottom with the landing gear, which I've shown previously. Just cups out there like that for the landing gear. Okay, so we're not quite finished yet. There is just one more step. This can be done next time if you wish, but I'm just going to do it now because that's what the instructions say. And that is to attach this wire, which I just unfurled there, around this structure to ready for the laser turret, which we'll put in 2 weeks time. So the first thing we do is just place the connecting part in there like that, and you see there are little notches that help out the pattern of this wire, and I think leaving this for 2 weeks will help really set this wire formation in place. So just make sure that it is tucked away around the back here. Oops, like so. It does, like I say, it does have ridges and stuff to help you out. And when it gets to this point here, I need to feed it around so it comes out of that notch there, just like this. So that won't get caught in any of the work that we get to do, but that is not it. We then need to feed it, oops, through that notch there, past into down those 2 pegs there. Just get this to help me out. There we go. And then I'm just following the instructions now. Where does it go from there? It goes right, okay, round this notch here, just like that, and then out this side there like that. So you see it snakes around all that, make sure we get the notch there all the way there to the connector, and that is ready and waiting for the next part of this build, which will of course be in 2 weeks time. Now I am very excited to get started on the cockpit parts, but as I said earlier, I need to get some paint and some Mr. Mark and glue and all that before that comes out. There you go, just leave that there shining on. So I need to get source and get those parts before I even start on that video. So it's not going to be just yet, but it will be soon. I don't know, do you want to see the cockpit parts as soon as possible from Falcon 3D parts, or do you want to see them when we do the cockpit parts naturally, as in within the build? Let me know in the comments down below when you would like to see it. That'll be really helpful, actually, feedback, so that I know how much I have to do and how quickly. Thank you very much for watching this longer video. Lots to talk about at the start of the video, and of course a nice chunky big building part to get our teeth into. Like I say, I will be back in 2 weeks time with the next part of this X-Wing build. So until then guys, keep safe, keep distracted, take care, and bye bye.